So you've already been welcomed to the museum, the Ag Building, and I want to welcome you to Bogart Historical Society. My name is San Cash, and I'm the president of the Historical Society, and this is my right arm. To my left, Janet Luke is vice president, and I am fifth generation Bogartian. If you are from Bogart or live in Bogart, you are a Bogartian. And if you have the last name of Cash, or if your ancestry is Cash or Luke or Hodges or Potter or Fowler or Epps or Sykes, well then you're probably my cousin. Please introduce yourself to me at some point before you leave, because I work my ancestry all the time. In fact, I'm going today for a little while between meetings with clients, and we'll be working ancestry some more. So that's a part of what we do in our historical society. We still have a new historical society. And so we're in need of members, we're in need of officers and board members. So if you have a heart to give back to your community from the age of 13 and up, we would love to have you at the Bogart Historical Society. Now, I come from a long line of farmers. I think you're talking about farms and ag. From honeybees to cotton to dairy cows and everything in between, my forefathers and mothers did. And I'm very proud of that fact. We need our military and we need our farmers, or we wouldn't exist, right? So I gave most of you a card. If you were of age at least, I believe you have a card. Please share this card. You know, use it, and I hope you call one of us. Our numbers are on there. And also, you can come to the museum on Saturday from 10 to 2 and tour, and then sit down and chit-chat with us. We love nothing more than to do that. And then pass that card on. I got a pretty heavy card stock, linen card stock, so that means this thing should last forever. So you can just keep passing it on to as many people as you can. If you'll notice this aerial picture of Bogart right here on the wall, this great big picture, about midway, you're going to see a pecan grove. You see that in the middle, that big square of trees? That's a beautiful pecan grove. There's still some pecan trees that exist over there across the tracks that were originally a part of that. And then if you look down at the bottom closely, you'll see something that looks like chicken houses. Well, those were pigeon houses because that was a pigeon farm right downtown Bogart. And if you look at the first building, kind of in the middle to the left, there's two buildings. Well, that's where our Benson's Bakery now sits. That picture is from about the mid-40s, as best we can figure. Now, we always have trivia in our historical society, questions that we don't have the answers to yet, but we're constantly digging. So if you know the answer, or if you know somebody who might, we have a mystery to solve. We don't know where Paradise School was located. We know it was here in Bogart. We had many schools. And Paradise is one that we have a picture of the students, her forefathers, but we don't have information about where it was located. Also, Hodges Academy. I can't find where it was located. That was one of my great-great-granddaddy and granduncle schools. Now, up these steps to your right are the restrooms, and then if you go past the restrooms, you'll go into the museum. So when Janet is finished with her talk, we want to invite you to look through our museum. It's going to be a step back in time for some of you, and for some of you who are still beautiful, pretty little ones, young ones, you'll get a glimpse into history, and you're making history now. So please sign in. Once you get halfway through the museum, there's an entrance to the front of this building. This is where the students came in. There's going to be a sign-up sheet. We would love to have you sign in for us so that we can stay in contact with one another. Let's see if there's anything I'm missing. So with no further ado, I would like to introduce to you our master historian, the Queen of Bogart as far as I'm concerned.
Queen.
And also She was a farmer for many years. The one and only Janet Luke.
When I first heard about this tour, they said farmers. And I thought farmers, you know, half the age of me. But it's good to see all of you young people, and I hope that you're interested in agriculture and farming, because that's what you're going to hear this morning. So my name is Janet Luke. I have roots. I actually was born and raised in California because my daddy was in the Navy there. But they were raised here in Lower Oconee County in Bishop and Farmington. My roots are very deep, probably deeper than most of you here, but the Durhams and the Elders came in the last part of the 1700s. The Sims came in the last part of the 1700s. My husband's family came here in 1810, and we live on a farm that has been in the family, the Luke family, since then. I have Sims family. They were in Madison County. They came in the 1700s. So I've got an old history. But you came here to find out about this building right here. The front part of the building was built in 1938. It was built for home economics and agriculture, the boys' agriculture buildings. And they had classes here until, and then this, well, I'll get back to this area right here. This was built in 1942 by Georgia Power. They put all of the machinery into it for a cannery. They put the, yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself, I'm old. But anyway, this was part of the Bogart, the old Bogart High School. In 1942, all the machinery came in here, and then it was sold back to the Board of Education for $3,800, and it was for the use of the Bogart people. And it came into being about the time the World War II came in, so our farmers went to war. The women were left with the farms. They were very proficient in gardens, so the cannery came into really a good time. They could can their meat, they could can their vegetables. To the back of me was a freezing, canning, a freezing, I'll get with it in a minute. They had a hanging room, a freezing room. They had a place where they could wrap all the meat up with, and we had about 70 freezer lockers. And so we did good in the winter, in the World War II, because we had everything here. Our women were good. They were farmers' wives. They did their own clothing. I actually wore sackcloth. Well, it was actually feed cloth material. It was real pretty too. It had flowers on it and all. And but we made out here. It was a good. Wasn't as bad here as it was like in the cities. The farmers came back to Bogart after the war. They had nothing to do. They had no ways of making money. So the government had a program here, and it was over here in this building right here. They put machinery in. They had electrical. They gave the men a way to be off of the farm, basically. And if you're a farmer here, most of you had a job off of the farm to run the farm with, because there wasn't a lot of money in the farm itself. This area here was cotton. Back in the 1880s, we have had 1,000 bales of cotton that went out of Bogart. We had a rail, well, it was a very crude rail that came from here down to the river. And the bales of cotton, we had 3 gins at the time. The bales of cotton were put on flatbed drawn by either oxen or mules and taken down to the river and then floated down probably to Savannah. So we were pretty self-sufficient around here. My dad had gotten out of the Navy in 1940s after the war, and Dr. Elder, I thought everybody was going to be old here and knew who Dr. Elder was, but anyway, he was here and our doctor for about 43 years. He called out in California and said, come back here, I want to go in the turkey business. So since my mom and daddy's family was here, we came back here. And we built 2-story turkey houses. and on one of the flocks, in Thanksgiving, there was no money in turkeys. So Dr. Elder got the idea of putting them out on the range. And so we built fences and put them out on the range, which sounded good until a hawk came over and scared the turkeys. And if you know anything about turkeys, they're stupid. The turkeys piled up in a corner and died. My daddy threw them on a truck, brought them over here to the cannery, went over to across the street and asked Mutt Stevens if he would let some of the boys come over, and they, what we call now, field stripped the turkeys, got them ready for canning, and we canned turkey. That was fine. We had a lot of cans of turkey. When we had Mother and some of the ladies in Bogart, we'd have gatherings, we'd have church services and eatings and things like that, which was real nice. And we made chicken salad, a lot of chicken salad. Nobody knew it was turkey. Let me see. Okay, our gymnasium. Our gym, now this was in the 30s. We had, well, all of the small towns around here were very oriented to basketball, but we played out on a dirt court in front of the school. We had a good team in 1932, and so they decided, the town decided, and the farmers, that we would build a gym, which was right where the community center is now. That was fine. All the farmers went into their woods, got the straightest trees they could find, cut them down, put chains on them, snaked them out of the woods with mules or whatever they had, horses, and brought them over here to the caches. Yeah, what?
Ginnery?
No, well, they took them over the cache of gin, but it was a
Sawmill?
sawmill. There we go. They probably don't even know what a sawmill is. But anyway, they brought them over the sawmill, and the Lukes were sawyers, which means that they cut and sawed lumber, and they brought their planer over here, and they brought all the wood over here to the gym area, and the farmers came in, and they helped build the gym. We had one, they were all volunteers. We had one man that was paid, and that was all, the overseer. So, and when we had basketball games over here, and I played basketball games, well, the middle trophies here, I helped win. We went down to state twice, and the second time we were runner-ups in the whole state. So, you know, as a little town that had nobody except mainly one team, we played against the 8th grade boys and we practiced in the gym. But anyway, when we had a basketball game over here, all of the farmers came because they helped build the gym. When the war broke out in the 40s, all the able-bodied farmers left. That left the women during the duration. And when they came back, like I said, over here they had a government program in the, and we had 3 men that came and taught the returning farmers because they didn't have any way to make money. So we were pretty much covered after the war. They went back, some people went back to the farm. We had a very good teacher, G.L. Blackwell, and he taught agriculture, and he helped with the machinery and things like that, so we got back up on our feet. We have always been a farming area, mostly cotton, as it says in the 1880 Gazetteer. So now we don't have that much that's going on, although in my family, I'll tell you about our farm. I might look like an old lady, but I've been a farmer for about 40 years. I've been there, I've done it. We came back here after my husband got out of the military service, and we had to clear our land. We had an old Farmall tractor, didn't have brakes on it. We made it. We put our fences up. My husband and I put all of our fences up. We strung our wire. We got cows, and now the farm has been turned over to my 2 daughters who, we have a road that goes down the middle of it, and One of them has Black Angus. Now these are the difference in my kids. One of them has Black Angus, and the one on the other side of the road has Red Angus. So we are still in business. We still get paid. One thing I was going to talk to, and mostly it was with the older people, was the Hurricane Michael that came through. As a farmer, we hurt for them. The devastation down in South Oconee, well, in South Georgia, was something that you just don't want to see on a farm. I mean, you are a perfectionist, you're a survivor, but these people are just barely surviving. They are getting financial aid, but the pecan business, the poultry business, cow business, you name it, it's gone down there mostly. So keep them in your prayers, because as a farmer, we believe in prayer. I won't prolong this. Like I say, this is the last building, well, except for a little block building across the road, but this is the last building of the old Bogart High School. And so it's a revered place. I was so happy when we got to the point where they said, do you want a museum? And I am a historian from way back, and I still do history, and I love it. So I hope you'll get interested in it as a farmer, because what you have, if you live on a farm where your people were farmers, you know how we love our land. But anyway, I kind of geared this to older people, so I hope I haven't bored you. But I want you to enjoy your tour. And as the old saying goes, y'all come back now, you hear?